Welcome back to Sports Talk ATL's College Football Gambling Locks Week 3. We were all trying to get out of the cellar except for Alex, who usually belongs in the cellar. He's turning it all on his heads here in 2023. We start off with Memphis versus Navy on Thursday night. Do we like anything in this game, fellas?
I like Memphis. I took their season win total, so I'll be rooting for them. I didn't like what I saw out of Navy against Notre Dame. I like Memphis. Not giving a pick on this one, but Tigers.
If you had to give a pick, it should always be against the armed forces.
That's true. And as we've learned by your record, that is the proper way to go.
I have a theory that Vegas is they're getting demolished. Vegas is getting demolished on all fronts, and you guys have been, Ole Miss look ahead or Tulane look ahead, and the Texas Tech, Oregon, and I've just been betting the normal bullshit that usually doesn't work.
Are you really going to celebrate that Oregon non-cover?
Oh, yeah. Get the fuck out. Get out of here with that shit. Did you watch the end of that?
You got
my entire point is basically that Vegas's general rule of thumb has not been the rule of thumb this year. Like Colorado cover.
And guess what? It's going to change.
I would agree. I believe it will change as well.
Y'all keep paying out your bookie, buddy.
UTSA versus Army. But no one bet Tulane.
You should bet UTSA this year. I mean, what are we doing with these armed forces? It's like a make-a-wish kid.
Army's getting a lot of bets, too, which is interesting. This opened at -11. If it goes down to like 8, I might dip my toes against UTSA.
So Frank Harris, I think, is questionable. I watched them in their last game. He got hurt right before the half, and he came back and gutted it out, but he was not looking good. So I think he might play, but that's probably the reason for the line movement.
Okay.
I'm not putting any more money on the Roadrunners.
Me.
UVA and Maryland.
Me.
Virginia's quarterback
basketball game.
I mean, so I don't know. Maryland should kill them, right? This is weird.
Tony Muskett, baby. Well, I thought Virginia was going to get killed last week against JMU. They go down 14-0, and then all of a sudden they want to come back to life and play football. So,
yeah, that hurt me.
Air Force. Oh my God, it's just the armed forces all over the place.
Yeah,
I actually took Air Force in this game. This is actually one of my picks. I have Air Force -9. Utah has a lot of problems with the triple option. Utah's bad. Utah State's bad. They're a really bad team, and Air Force has been pretty good for me this year. Like Larson said last week, returned like 8 starters off the number 1 defense nationally last year, apparently. Utah State can't really move the ball. I don't know how they're going to score.
The defense did their job last week. I had a little bit on the -14 against Sam Houston State. Sam Houston State only scored 3. You think I would win that? No, it was 13-3. But just a miserable game.
We'll see if they do 13-3 again this week. They'll cover because that's 10.
Penn State versus Illinois.
Rat.
Is this the rat line of the week?
This might be rat.
It's up there. No, the rat line of the week is oh god, I literally said it like 20 minutes ago and I can't remember. To continue and we'll get to it.
I think Illinois is probably the right side here. I don't know if I trust Bielema though, but Penn State usually trips up when they play Illinois. We saw it a few years ago.
I also don't think Penn State's looked as good as everybody's thought they have, but it's still early in the year.
Their defense has.
Yeah, their defense has looked great, but offensively, like I saw their quarterback. I forget his name.
Allard.
Drew Allard.
Drew Allard. He was like 10th in the Heisman race or 11th with the best odds. I'm like, what has this guy done? He's played 2 crap teams and thrown a few touchdowns. Like, come on, buddy.
Is he behind Sanders?
Indiana versus Louisville.
I don't know. I'm tempted to take Indiana here. I'm probably just going to stay away from this one because I don't want to watch this game. This game's going to suck.
I think
Indiana's like a decent defense.
I think Indiana's just bad. Like, I know Indiana looks like the right spot, but I don't know.
I'm tired of betting on bad teams. Like Alex, I'm starting to just drift toward Alex. I'm tired of betting on bad teams, so I'm probably just not going to take anything.
All right, boys. LSU versus Mississippi State. LSU -9.5. Give it to me.
This is weird.
This might be the rat line of the week.
This is weird.
Well, it's rat line of the week, yet the public is on Mississippi State.
Yeah, I'm taking LSU, and it's one of the few times I'm not just betting with my heart. Like, I just saw that. The public's all over Mississippi State. I guess they think 9.5. We should beat them by 3 scores. I mean, this shouldn't be a close game. And I know LSU fans are in that, like, the sky is falling. We suck. We're just kind of like waiting for the next loss. This is still a very, very good team. Get Harold Perkins on the line of scrimmage. Let Jaden Daniels do what he does best, and that's play backyard football. And we win this by 3 scores. I mean, it's really not that hard. It shouldn't be this hard. I like.
I tend to agree with you, but I just can never bet LSU correctly. The only time I ever got them was last year.
Also, LSU, they have the offense to easily beat a team by 3 scores. It's not like last year where like they're struggling out 13-7 games.
And Mason Smith is just getting his legs underneath him. He was on a snap count last week. That should ramp up this week. He's still one of the best players in the country. Makai Wingo is one of the best players in the country. Still got some dogs. LSU fans, the sky's not falling.
I think I used up all my LSU luck last year when I like triple max bet y'all against Purdue in the bowl game, just because I knew that was going to be just a massacre, and it paid off because I had lost a lot of money on Georgia Ohio State the day before.
Mississippi State should have lost last week to Arizona if you look at kind of the box score. If you'd watched that game, so it's super fishy, super weird.
Yeah, I mean, anytime the public's on a dog, I like that, and especially when they're on a dog that is against my team. FSU and Boston College.
This is actually the rat line of the week. Minus 26 against a team that almost lost to the Holy Cross, a team that I was not aware that had a football program. Like, come on. Boston College should have lost to Holy Cross, and they're only 26-point dogs to Florida State.
Well, there's supposed to be, I think, a hurricane off of Massachusetts on Saturday, so that's the reason this under is dipped. Like, it's going to be pretty nasty weather, so stay away from me. But
yeah, I'll see what the line does.
Minus 14.
Yeah, go ahead.
Who?
This is another fishy one. I don't know why, as a Power 5 team, I don't know why the hell you'd agree to go play at Old Dominion at noon. That sounds like a prime spot to get beat. Wake Forest hasn't been super impressive to me this year. I mean, they beat up on Vandy, but come on. I don't have a pick, but I would be wary if I was a Wake Forest fan. I'm putting them on upset alert. How about that?
LIU. What do you?
I don't know who that is.
Iowa State, Iowa.
Is it Long Island?
It's probably Long Island, I think.
Long Island versus Baylor. LIU. I don't know what else it would be. They don't have a spread. So
did you hear the last one I just said?
What was it?
Iowa State and Ohio.
Yeah.
Larson, did you hit on Ohio last week?
Oh, on Ohio, yeah, I had them last week against Florida Atlantic, and they won and covered. Yeah, this is weird because like Iowa State has a really good defense. Ohio has a good offense. They didn't show it last week, but I do like their quarterback. I just have refrained from betting Iowa State after last year, and I don't want any part of them. So, yeah.
Fair enough.
Uh-oh. Liberty. Give me them. Minus 3.5 against the Buffs. They did it last week. They're going to do it again. They're a cover machine.
Buffalo.
I would say 72% of the public, but that doesn't mean anything right now. So
Buffalo lost last week at home to Fordham. So
that's embarrassing.
Bet accordingly.
Who did we have against them that didn't cover?
Wisconsin.
That was week 1. I can't remember.
Wisconsin.
Yeah, assholes. How did you guys not cover against this team?
Against Wisconsin.
Because they got blown out by Washington State, and they're terrible. That's how.
Still, man, you're a Power 5 program. Have some self-respect. Anyways.
All right, here we go. Missouri and Kansas State. Listen, the public and everything makes me think like this line went from 6 to 4.5. You got the public all over Kansas State. Missouri's a tough place to play. They're coming off a really ugly performance. You know they can play some defense. But to me, I watched Kansas State against Troy. That was a good football team.
Yeah.
Yeah, but the thing is, I don't think Missouri's as bad as they played last week. I think this.
I don't think they are either. But I think Kansas State's really good. Like
I think Missouri's defense is top notch. I mean, Missouri's defense is for real. Like win them football games.
State, minus 4.5, and I know that's a rat line, but
I'm going to stay away.
I don't think it's too ratty. It's a little ratty, but I've seen worse. I do agree though. I think Kansas State, like this, just has like bad beat written all over it. I feel like this is going to be a close game to the very end, and then somebody's going to pull off in the fourth quarter.
It definitely has that kind of vibe to it. I'm telling you. I mean, I bet on Troy last week. I just really liked what I saw at Kansas State, Georgia Southern, and Wisconsin.
I really want to take the Eagles. Wisconsin stinks.
Yeah, I do too. And Georgia Southern has been really good this year.
Yeah, they are.
And I kind of want to take the Mighty Eagles. They go into Lincoln, Nebraska last year, beat Nebraska outright. Scott Frost gets fired, so it's not like they can't do it.
And they get up.
Passing attack, similar offense to Washington State.
Listen, they get up, and Wisconsin's coming off that pitiful game. What do you think? Wisconsin's going to be motivated for the incoming Georgia Southern Eagles? I don't think so. Like, I think this is a great time to bet Georgia Southern. They get up for these kind of games. They love
This line's
these
also
games.
moved from -7. This line's also moved to -17 to -19.
I love that. I really just love the Eagles. I'm going to wait and see if that line goes up any further. If that jumps up to 20, I mean, I'm all over.
You got to take it. Yeah.
All over.
UMass and Eastern Michigan.
Gross.
No. Yeah, whatever. Those exist.
Notre Dame and Central Michigan.
Notre Dame's got
Chippewas.
Ohio State next week.
Yeah,
So.
could be a look ahead spot. I don't know. That hasn't worked for me at all this year, so
And
don't care.
Northwestern.
Man, I really want to hit Duke here. I feel like I'm really pushing my luck with just blindly fading Northwestern every week, but Duke looks pretty good. I mean, Northwestern did actually finally show some life last week because I thought there was a real chance they were going to lose to UTEP. They covered pretty easily, but man, like I said, this Duke stuff is not a fluke. They're a good football team, but Northwestern, man, they are. If you watch that Rutgers game, they are pitiful.
They stink.
South Florida and Alabama. Alabama bounce back.
South Florida hosting Alabama too. That's the best part about this.
Very awesome.
That's wild how they pulled that off.
Yeah.
I don't know who agreed to that. Stay away. I don't know.
Don't say the SEC doesn't go on the road out of conference. Play the mighty Bulls of South Florida.
I took USF over 3.5 wins before the season, so if they win this one, that would be cool.
Yeah.
USF money line.
UConn and FIU.
UConn is dead to me, except their basketball team. I still love them.
San Diego State and Oregon State.
I put Oregon State in a teaser. I teased them down to like minus, I think 13.5. This feels like a blowout. I'm so off of San Diego State. They should be 0-3. Their quarterback is horrible. Their offense is horrible. I think this is a blowout. It feels like that.
Oklahoma and Tulsa.
I don't want any part of either of these teams.
I will say though that Oklahoma, I mean, they're going to challenge. They're going to challenge for that Big 12. I'm excited.
We'll see. East Carolina and App State.
Stay away.
Two teams that are almost just impossible to bet.
Yeah.
Georgia and South Carolina, 3:30.
See, I'm a little conflicted here because this has the feeling I wanted to take the under here. And you know what this feels like? This feels like what happens every year where Georgia just whips their ass and South Carolina comes down, scurries down the field and scores a garbage time touchdown and blow the under. I'm tempted to take Georgia spread. There's a lot of money on South Carolina to cover, but their offensive line is so bad. Our defensive front is going to eat them alive. I don't see how they move the football. And as long as we have a competency on offense, we should be okay. I don't know. But I don't see any way that I bet this game. It's revolting.
I see South Carolina covering, and the only way I see South Carolina covering is if they score like 13-ish points. I think UGA's offense is still just getting the ebbs and flows. New coordinator, new quarterback. They still got far superior athletes on both sides of the line of scrimmage, and I don't think South Carolina moves the ball more than 150 total yards on Saturday, and Georgia, scrounges together, giving Brock Bowers some jet sweeps, and he takes it 40 yards for a touchdown type offense. I really like the under.
Yeah, I agree a lot on that. I teased the under with that Oregon State thing I just mentioned. I'm not worried. Like, I don't think we're worried about Georgia, but they've been slow. They've just been slow, and I'm going to need to see them turn it on. So I did. I took a little bit with South Carolina.
This happens. I mean, this happens all the time though, because we'll have Georgia, they look like pretty pedestrian against Kent State and Sanford. And then, oh boy, we get South Carolina next and they go and whip the dog shit out of them. Like they stole something. Like, what was it, 42-7? Like they I don't know. I mean, they barely kept it within 40 under Beamer. Like,
I don't see that changing.
I think Kirk takes a special pride in beating them because they beat him at home in 2019, and he kind of like really doesn't like Shane Beamer. I don't think, even though he was on his staff. So I could see it getting out of hand. Like I said, don't be surprised if Georgia just wakes up for this game because they do it. They've done it before.
I wouldn't be surprised. That those fans are also going to be up. South Carolina's offense, Spencer Rattler has done an admirable job, all things considered, circumstances and whatnot. But Saturday's going to be loud between the hedges, and that Georgia defense has not lost a step. They continue to put first-round picks in the NFL and just put them, and they replace them with first-round picks. It's unbelievable.
Hell yeah.
Iowa and Western Michigan.
I'm tempted to take Western Michigan plus 29 here because I don't know if Iowa can score 29 points. I mean, what we gonna get a 21-0 final and I still cover?
I don't know.
I mean, I watched a little bit of Western Michigan last week against Syracuse. They're not awful. They're not awful, but they're definitely not a team that I want to bet on. But I do think, I mean, if they score a touchdown, I think they cover. That's all they got to do is score one touchdown.
Yeah, it's a good point.
UNC the Gophers.
This is a stay away from me, but I will
So
be.
random.
I watched this one. Actually, I'll be at Georgia, South Carolina. I lied. I'm not going to be able to watch it, but I'm interested. I'm interested to see it's only two random teams, but it should be fun.
Public likes North Carolina a lot in that one. That's what I see.
I think the public just likes Drake May. Really.
I like Drake May. How can you not like that guy? I'm not going to bet this, but I don't know how you couldn't bet on Drake May. He's just unbelievable. He's unbelievable. Unbelievable talent. I love watching him.
Rutgers and Virginia Tech.
I'm tempted.
What a sad. Imagine 10
Dude.
years ago. I tell you that Virginia Tech is a 7-point dog to Rutgers. You look at me like I had three heads.
Hey, I said preseason Rutgers is going to be 4-1 going to Madison, Wisconsin.
We both did.
And,
That's what we said. They got
they're on
they get
track.
I got them at 4 wins, so they're going to get these 4. And they might beat Wisconsin at this rate. All you got to have is one more. The fighting Greg Schianos, man. Love those guys.
Virginia Tech stinks. They are a really, really bad football
They
team.
do.
Used to be a proud program, man. And
the total 39.5. The Vegas agrees. It's 39.5. This is a sloppy game.
Yeah.
ULM and Texas A&M. God, Texas A&M got whipped.
Yeah, they really did.
UL Monroe
Anyway.
plus 36.
Stay
Yeah,
away.
I'm not going to bet this, but I mean, how many more games do we have to watch Jimbo Fisher just absolutely fuck that program? I mean, that guy, he needs to be put in jail. I don't know what he's doing over
Go
there.
to Matt Rule while we're at it.
Yeah, you were.
For throwing
Yeah.
Sims back out there.
Oh my God, Jeff Sims doesn't need to be playing quarterback. He does not need to
Jeff
be playing.
At
Jeff
any
Sims
level.
might be the worst. He might be the worst quarterback in Power 5.
Colorado did
I'm not
everything they
kidding.
could to give Nebraska a chance to win that football game, and Nebraska was like, "Nope, you take it. You
Nebraska
take
was
it."
the better team in the first half.
Yes, they were unbelievable. Jeff Sims is not a quarterback.
Tulane and Southern Miss.
There's a lot of public action on Southern Miss, and I'm not quite sure why. I don't know if it's because they saw the Tulane game last week and they think these guys are easy pickings now, but that's definitely not the case. I would be tempted to take Tulane here.
I believe Pratt is coming back for this as well. So
I mean, even then, their backup wasn't awful against Ole Miss. Like Ole Miss
no,
was
their
just garbage.
their backup
Yeah.
select will miss up many ways. Yeah,
It's
Ohio
like,
State
you
and
know,
Western Kentucky.
Ohio State's. I'm not touching them at all
Stinks.
until I figure out what they're doing. Yeah,
Yeah, they
No,
stink.
they pissed me off.
Yeah.
Washington and Michigan State. Do we follow the fired head coach train?
Oh my God, I want
You
to.
mean
know I
the
love
one that
Washington.
burned us?
I know just the way everything's going for me this year. I'm going to lay Washington minus 16, and Michigan State is going to come out and play the game of their lives. I know that's what's going to happen if I lay minus 16. And if I don't,
I'm still
they'll win by
going
45.
Washington. I'm going Washington. I'm not going to be
I
afraid.
teased Washington before the season, so I have them at -3. I just need them for that. But this should be a blowout.
I think it should be too.
Yeah, I don't know, man.
I mean,
It's
Michigan
my dog. Actually, 55% of the public on Michigan State, man. Like, I just,
Dude,
this is
Michigan
stinks.
Michigan State stunk with them. They're going to stink without them. I mean, listen, you don't get up and play for your coach who was just fired for sexual harassment. Maybe you get up and, play for your coach. He was fired because he was just a bad coach. No, those
That's
guys
fair.
are,
Yeah, I almost think if you did want to bet Michigan State, you should bet them first half because I just feels like eventually Washington's going to figure it out, and that might be a second half thing, but I don't know.
Their secondary continues to be awful, and Michael Penix is a very good football player. So that's
Very
just
good.
another
I
easy
love
analysis
Washington
there.
in this. I know it.
Yeah.
I know that's a favorite, but I don't know why 55% of the public right here is on MSC.
Well, now that really makes me want them. Anyways,
take Washington.
Charlotte versus Georgia State.
banned. Georgia State is banned.
Wow, Florida and Tennessee. Tennessee only getting 6.5 going into Florida.
Did you just
That's
figure out
crazy.
what we played this week?
You know what I'm doing?
I want Florida. So
Fire Billy Napier?
bad.
Yep.
But I know for a fact it's going to be like 9:30 on Saturday, and I'm going to be like, why did I bet on these chumps? I watched them against Utah. I bet on them against Utah. They sucked. But, man, they're at home. Tennessee looks bad. Tennessee has not beaten Florida in the swamp since like 2003. It's been 20 years. Like,
Yeah, but how
I
many
don't know.
years
I want
have
Florida
they had
bad, but
Billy Napier as head coach? I'll answer that question. 0. So
I'm probably going to stay away. But, oh, my gosh, I want Florida bad.
I'm taking Tennessee because I'm gonna stick to my guns. Billy Napier will be out here and he's gonna show no life because he's a terrible coach and that's a terrible program. Miami of Ohio and Cincinnati.
I've been looking to fade Cincinnati, but this line's dropped a lot. I'm probably not gonna be anywhere near that one.
I'll go Miami of Ohio.
I think Miami of Ohio might be good. It's dropped a few points in their favor, and Cincinnati got a really unexpected win last week. I wonder if there's some kind of a letdown here.
I'm gonna take Miami of Ohio. South Alabama versus the Pokes.
Jags money line. I love South Alabama this week.
I think South Alabama too, +7.
That's
They're one of my
wild
favorite G5
line.
teams. I love them, dude. They're one of my favorite G5 teams, and that's why it's that low. And your average better sees that and says, "Oh, Oklahoma State, Mike Gundy, they're good. They've always been good. They'll kill these guys." Nah, dude. South Alabama almost
here, and South Alabama
They should have beat UCLA at UCLA last year. Like, South Alabama is like one of those G5 teams. If you're a Power 5 team, you do not want to fucking tangle with them. I got South Alabama +7 and money line. I love them.
Yeah, I echo that. I think I love the Jags too. I still think there's a little hangover from them getting blown out by Tulane, which, as I described last week, was a fluky result anyway. And Oklahoma State's just not that good. They don't really know where they're going for quarterback. I think they're playing all 3 quarterbacks, and they have just not looked good. Like, their 2 wins have been horrible. They played Central Arkansas, who's a mess, and it was like 13-7 at the end of the 3rd quarter. They even last week, Arizona State. Kind of weird. Arizona State just wasn't up for the fight there. So I do like South Alabama a lot, and I think it's at 7 now. It's moved down a lot to 7. So
yeah,
Raging Cajuns versus UAB.
Oh,
UAB have to be a fade. If you cannot bet UAB in this game, I don't think.
Look ahead spot to Georgia.
Exactly.
What else do we got here? Troy and
JMU. The battle of 2 teams that fucked me last week.
Yep.
Troy could be a good bounce back pick here after they lost big.
Troy
last
put
week.
up a fight.
Troy's good.
I say that in jest a little bit. They weren't bad. They were not that bad
Yeah.
against Kansas.
It was
I say that in
close
just
for
a little bit.
First half, I think, was a pretty close game.
It was like 28-13. It wasn't like
first quarter. I don't know. Yeah.
Well, the spread was what, like 15? I mean, I thought they
15 or
would keep it a little
16.
bit closer.
But, dude, Kansas State looked good though. Like, I'm not even really hating on Troy. Like, I thought Kansas State just showed me something, which is why I took them this week. San Jose State and Toledo.
Nothing.
North Texas and Louisiana Tech.
I haven't bet this yet. I'm going to wait probably till Friday. I think I will take Louisiana Tech, though, because I think North Texas.
I'm not betting North Texas again.
North Texas, we were way wrong on. I think Vegas has admitted they were way wrong on, but because they're horrible and they lost last week as a double-digit favorite to Florida International, who is also horrible. It feels like a game
that had
too.
4 passing yards in week 0.
Yeah, they're North
Against
Texas
Louisiana
is not
Tech.
good. We took them week 1 against Cal. It was a bad pick. We thought they were better. This feels like a line. Maybe like 2 weeks from now, we look back and we're like, why wasn't that like -9? So I think I might throw Louisiana Tech in like a money line parlay or something.
Nebraska and NIU.
My favorite.
I
pick.
actually have a play. Yep, I have NIU +11. Larson, you can.
Yeah, I think hey, we watched Nebraska last week. This should be easy here. I have no faith in Nebraska at all, which speaks for itself. But NIU last week, week 1 they beat Boston College, which was cool. Last week they lose to their rival Southern Illinois, who's an FCS team. Extremely fluky loss. Northern Illinois, they outgained them by 150 yards. They had 7 more first downs than them. They drove the ball on them. Basically, every time they had the ball, they were getting down to the score. They threw 3 interceptions. They missed 2 field goals. I mean, that's a huge difference in the game that they lost 14-11. So that's a team that really, I know they lost. It's a box score loss, though, is not the same thing. So this has dropped from, I think, 13.5 to like 10.5 now. So Vegas is liking Northern Illinois, and I just have no respect for Nebraska. They have a serious quarterback problem. and you can't trust him. So I think Northern
Shouldn't have
Illinois-
run off Casey Thompson.
I'm on NIU too.
Should
I
not have
can't
run off
trust
Casey
Nebraska.
Thompson. Huge mistake.
Vandy and UNLV. Vandy
At
-4.
Allegiant. At Allegiant
Going
Stadium.
to UNLV. Going
Minus
to Las Vegas. Give me
Sad program. Sad loser
UNLV.
program.
Give me UNLV +4, and they'll probably win this game straight up.
Oh, I thought you were going to say give me Vandy there.
Hell no.
Okay. Hell no. Okay.
This is a stay away. I don't want to watch this game. It's gonna suck.
I'm not gonna watch it.
It has CBS Sports Network all over it, like late at night.
Yeah.
I don't even know what time. Is it?
Arkansas and BYU in one of the weirdest matches. These are a bunch of weird ass matchups.
Dude, I wanted the under in this so bad, but it's dropped like 6 points. I think this game is definitely going under. BYU week 1, I think they only beat Sam Houston State 14-0. Not a lot of offense, even though they do have Keaton Slovis. Arkansas, their offense has been hit or miss. I still think I just didn't see any way this game got to 53, and now I could see it getting to 47, I guess. So I'm just going to stay away.
Yeah, they're two teams that take a lot of time on offense. And I'll say this, Arkansas, Rocket Sanders is not playing this week. He didn't play last week either. They looked miserable trying to run the ball on Kent State, who is awful. So I would just – the line has dropped a few points.
BYU +8.5.
It's weird, man. Arkansas has not been able to get any run game going at all through any of these games they've played. So be
Give me the
careful.
points in BYU. They're going to keep this one close. Syracuse and Purdue. Game of the week.
This is a basketball game. It's a basketball game. I said it on the show earlier. It's a basketball game.
Purdue
I'll
opened
bet
a
on
field goal
basketball
favorite too, and it moved to Syracuse -2.5. So might have missed the value there if you like Syracuse. But throwback to one of our great betting wins last year. Syracuse.
Oh yeah, we talked about that on the show. I was like,
Yeah.
that's one of the craziest ones.
The anniversary.
Yeah, I might have to watch that game out of respect.
Pitt and West Virginia.
Oh.
I mean, Neil Brown's the guy I said was going to get fired this year. I mean,
You need him.
I
to
thought he
lose
would have
the-
already been fired by now. If he gets slaughtered in this game, he might get fired this week.
yeah, that Penn State cover was all time. Tennessee. Who do they West Virginia
the
lose
Penn
to
State
week
covered.
1?
Penn State.
Penn State
Yeah.
covered. All time James Franklin. What a guy. What an absolute
I needed that so
stud.
bad, dude.
Yeah.
This
Neil Brown needs to get out of there, though. He's dragging that's another program like Virginia Tech that, they should be better than they are.
Yeah, this feels like a game where I think you get West Virginia's 110% effort, and if they lose, they're done. But they could win it. So
Akron and Kentucky.
be careful. Kentucky starts very slowly against these bad teams. They've done it this year. They've done it years prior. They start slow. I'm going to look for Akron first quarter. If I can get like a 6.5, that's going to might have to be a play. It is
Bowling
6.5.
Green and Michigan.
Harbaugh's
Why do we have another Michigan under at 53 points?
Is Harbaugh still suspended? Is this the last game he's
Yes.
suspended for?
Yes, last one.
Georgia Tech and Ole Miss. Give me the Yellow Jackets.
I am also taking
okay. Yes.
This is just, if there's ever a sleeper spot, they come off a good win against Tulane. They have Alabama next week and then LSU after that. I think Georgia Tech's better than people think.
They can
18.5.
muck it up. They can ugg this game up. Is the thing.
Yeah, I nobody is scared to go into Oxford and play in that stadium. And Georgia Tech is playing for their coach. I mean, listen, and I say it time and time again. There's a few schools in the country that you're never going to be able to get one of the high-profile coaches, and Georgia Tech's one of them. They got an alumni who loves Georgia Tech, loves coaching them, got those kids playing. They probably, I don't know what they did in the second half against Louisville, but that first half was very convincing. Yeah. Tech plus 18.
This might be a
Battle
first
of
half
New
play. Ole Miss
Mexico.
was a team that started kind of slow last week too, and I think they can keep it within 10 points in the first half.
Yeah, I mean, I think first half too there is an interesting bet. The Battle of
is
New
an
Mexico,
interesting
New
one.
Mexico State, New Mexico.
What a fun game.
That's an alien game.
Hawaii and
Why is this on at 8 o'clock? Why is this on at 8 o'clock? This needs to be an 11:30 game. That's my only comment on that.
Hawaii and Oregon.
I don't know, man. Hawaii. I can't get a read on Hawaii. Oregon should beat them by 38, but I don't know. They had a miracle cover last week. I don't think I'm going to roll the dice with them 2 weeks in a row.
I agree. I mean, Oregon should score 60 points on them, and I'm going to go with Oregon. 38.
FAU and Clemson. Give me the
Look
Owls.
ahead spot for Clemson. With
Give me
Florida
the
State coming
Owls.
to town next week.
Can Clemson afford to look ahead at this point? I mean, did y'all see how they started last week?
Yeah, they were down at half, weren't they?
I mean,
They're down
it
in the first
was
quarter.
something close. I mean,
It was it was 14-7 in the first quarter. They ended up winning by like 50, but still.
I mean, this is disrespectful. You're only 24 and a half to FAU. And listen, I'm not trying to shit on FAU. They've got a solid program over there, but you're Clemson, dude. You're Clemson. The state of that program is it's on the edge of teetering off the cliff. Dabo, I don't know how. Yeah, good.
Give me FAU, baby. Give me FAU.
I
think FAU keeps this one close.
Yeah, I think
Casey
so
Thompson.
too.
TCU,
TCU
let him go.
This is
both
four
of these, both of
Texas
these
games in a row.
Yes.
What you mean?
Houston has played
Houston.
4 Texas teams in a row.
Houston doesn't leave the state of Texas until like.
And they play Sam Houston State next week, so it'll be 5. They got TCU and Houston or TCU and
I
Rice
read something that they don't leave the state of Texas until like October.
Yeah,
that's wild.
Yeah, I thought about playing Houston in this game for whatever reason. I've bet on both of Houston's games so far, but they lost last week. Maybe looking ahead to this game, I called the Rice Houston game perfectly last week. I think this could be a little bit of a bounce back spot, but I really don't want to have to bet on Houston's first 3 games.
TCU, I'm not watching another TCU football game. They suck, and their brand of football pisses me off. They tackle like sissies.
I think we could be sitting here this time next week. I think we could be sitting here this time next week and being like, Houston just upset TCU. TCU stinks. TCU really stinks.
I don't even know if it's an upset at this point, man. TCU is bad.
Well, I don't think it's much of an upset, but yes, it is kind of
touchdown underdogs.
Touchdown.
All right, here's the lock of the week, guys.
Yes, it is. There you go, Chase. Texas? It's Wyoming, baby. Wyoming
against Texas, baby.
That is the letdown spots of all letdown spots. You just went into Tuscaloosa and beat Nick Saban. Now you got poor little Wyoming.
And don't forget,
those guys
Rice gave Texas a game, especially in the first half.
Yeah.
Who does Texas play the week after this? Please tell me they play the Red River Shootout.
It's Baylor. It's at Baylor, and it's prime time. But Wyoming has a good defense. I think, Ewers was great on the deep ball against Alabama, but that's like the first time we've ever seen him be good on a deep ball. Can you do it again? Wyoming's defense do not sleep. They will be able to get pressure, I think.
Texas,
they're going to get
up. Texas shows up against really good teams. I mean, even back in 2019, they gave LSU their best game of the season, and LSU beat everyone else by double digits. And then they win and lose.
Wyoming's going to be up for this game. They've already beat Texas Tech. They're going to be up for this.
I'm not going to bet it, but I want to push back on myself from last week when I took Bama that Texas is for real in the trenches. Like that should be taken seriously.
Sure.
They are for real in the trenches.
They were for real against Rice in the trenches, but offensively, I think they're a little worse than people think. Now,
A.D. Mitchell is also just unbelievable addition. Unbelievable addition for that offense.
Colorado and Colorado State. The Buffs go to 3-0.
Are we going to hop on Dion yet? I bet against him twice in a row.
No, because I know if I bet on him this week, they won't cover.
I'm hoping for a Colorado just absolutely murders them and give us a good number next week. I'll go ahead and give a lock for next week. I've already got Oregon
minus 14.
And I'll give you a lock for the week after. I've already got USC minus 12. That's in the back pocket already, folks. So if Colorado can win by 50 here and move that down to maybe minus 12, hammer time.
Might be a game of the year
on the Ducks. Yes.
Fresno State and Arizona State. Give me Fresno.
I kind of like Fresno State too. I was thinking that as I looked at this. It's not a game that stood out to me immediately, but Arizona State is bad. And Fresno State's one of those G5 teams I usually like to throw something on. They're a frisky bunch. This is what, a 10:30 game, something to watch at night.
I mean, they beat Purdue.
They did. They beat Purdue, but they struggled last week against some FCS team. I can't remember who it was.
They beat Purdue. It was a little sandwich spot here.
Yeah, they get up for the big teams.
Kansas looked great against Illinois. I'll tell you that.
They did.
Against Nevada. Wow, USC doesn't play this week, so we don't get to bet they're over. Really disappointing. They're 3-0 in that category.
How do they not play this week? They have a bye.
Wait, who doesn't play this week?
Well, they played week 0. Roscoe. They had played week 0.
Yeah, I don't know. Nevada's horrible.
Kansas is a good football team. I forget that head coach's name, but he got those boys believing in themselves. Yeah, I like the Jayhawks. I really do. I'm not going to bet them because that's a crazy. I mean, Nevada does stink, but
Yeah,
I
Nevada
like where Kansas is going at least.
Nevada was an underdog at home last week to Idaho, who is an FCS team, and they lost. Nevada lost by, I want to say, 25 points.
Wow.
And I haven't seen Idaho plays at Cal this week. I haven't seen a line open for that, but I will look to bet Cal because I think Cal's actually a little bit better than we thought. And Idaho, you're coming off of that's a nice win for them. I think they might come off a little flat.
Who did Idaho beat last week?
They beat Nevada. Nevada was at home, and Idaho was the favorite.
Right, that's right. Yeah.
But Cal should have beat Auburn last week. If anybody watched that game,
We were building that up to being a great barn burner.
I think Cal's like actually decent. I might look to bet Cal if I can get a good number there.
All right, last game, UTEP and Arizona. Anybody?
I'm looking for Arizona. I think I'm taking Arizona. Yeah, UTEP quit. UTEP is done. They quit. Getting blown out by Northwestern, and how much better is Arizona than Northwestern? You know, so I'm just going to do that math.
I'm kind of high on Northwestern's future. I'm not too high on there right now, but I do agree with your rationale here. Jaden Delores still a good quarterback. I mean, if Northwestern's hanging 31 on you, you ain't really got much. That's all I got to say about that.
UTEP can't finish drives. We saw that in week 0 against Jacksonville State when they cost us in that awful beat. They can move the ball and they can't finish drives. It is what it is.
All right, guys, that wraps it up this week. We'll be back week 4. Huge slate in week 4. It's going to be fun. Let's get some money.